Yeah, I just want to be the greatest.
It's your boy HifiVega back again, and this time I'm updating the 1/0 wire shootout. We have 8 competitors, and a big shout out to everybody who sent me wire, including people I have written on a list: Thomas Marshall, Bert Garcia, Hippo, Richard W. Robinson, and if I forgot your name, I am sorry. Let me know in the comments and I'll give you your shout out. We have 8 different types, as I said before, including the much anticipated certified base head. I know a lot of you are curious about that. There are some big winners and some big losers in this list. This is going to be an interesting shootout. I think we should just get straight into it. I will cut the wire open, we'll weigh it, we'll see how thick it is, do all the stuff we normally do, and then I'll come back and tell you which ones I liked and which ones I didn't. Hold on to your seats. I already know the results. You should have a good time with this. We're going to start with the flexibility portion, and I can tell you that most of these are very flexible. The certified base head and the Mechman, the blue Mechman, are probably 2 of the most flexible out of this group. And you can literally just bend these up as much as you want, just about. These are very flexible, along with the Stinger Pro, which is just slightly less flexible. The Skar, pretty flexible as well, right there with the Stinger Pro. And the Mesa brand is, just barely less flexible than the other 2. The DD Audio, while it is flexible, it's definitely a little less flexible than the other ones like the Mechman and the certified base head. The one that surprised me is this 2-watt welding cable, the Flex Whip. Welding cable is notoriously stiff, but I will tell you that this Flex Whip is probably the most flexible welding cable I have ever used. That's quite surprising, and I'm glad that someone sent this because this stuff is very flexible. Now, by far, the least flexible brand we have here is the Memphis 1/0, and it's got kind of the old school casing on it, and this stuff is about as flexible as regular old 2-watt welding cable, not the nice flexible kind of welding cable like this, but the old school welding cable. So this is not flexible really at all. We're going to start off with the Skar 1/0 OFC and see what we get. All right, the total weight on the Skar is 74.6 grams. Now let's check the total thickness. 15.02 millimeters. All right, now we're going to get the copper weight, 53.2 grams. Now let's get the weight of the jacket by itself, 21.3 grams. Now let's check the jacket thickness, 3.67 millimeters. Now we're going to do the Mechman wire, the total weight, 96.6 grams. Let's check the total thickness, 16 millimeters. Now we'll weigh the copper only, 74.7 grams. 21.8 grams, 3.62. Onto the Stinger Pro, 81.9 grams. 14.62 millimeters. Copper weight, 62 grams. The jacket weight, 19.9 grams. 3.07 millimeters, we'll just call that 3 millimeters. Check the weight on the Mesa, 97.9 grams. 16 millimeters. Check the total copper weight, 78.9. Check the jacket weight, 19 grams. .3. The overall weight on the flex whip, 104.9 grams. Check the overall thickness, 14.73 millimeters. Check the copper weight, 85.2. Check the jacket weight, 19.7. Check the jacket thickness, 2.1 millimeter. Check the overall weight on the Memphis, 90 grams even. Check the overall thickness, 16 millimeters. The copper weight of the Memphis, 67 grams. The weight of the jacket, 23 grams. Check the jacket thickness, 3.86 millimeters. The overall weight on the certified base head, 88.2 grams. Check the overall thickness, 15 millimeters. Checking the copper weight on the certified base head, 66.9 grams. Checking the jacket weight, 21.3 grams. Checking the jacket thickness, 3.5 millimeters. Total weight on the DD Audio, 97.8 grams. Get the total thickness, 15.6 millimeters. Checking the total copper weight, 75.9 grams. Checking the jacket weight, 21.9 grams. Checking the jacket thickness, 3.7 millimeters. All right, here we are. We've done the testing. I know which wires I like. I know which wires I don't like so much. Some of these I could not find pricing for online by the foot or even per 50 foot. And some of them were only sold in kits. So on the one-out cheat sheet, I am not gonna have those on the list listed as price or price per gram of copper. Now let's start with the ones that I didn't like so much. And the number one wire I really didn't like was the Skar audio wire. This wire here ended up with 53 grams of copper. It's just, if I'm looking at the list here, let me see where it lands. It lands right below the Orion XTR, which was, you know, a pretty bad wire, and it's just above the Raptor, which is the worst, which is almost 4 gauge. So this right here is closer to like 2 gauge welding cable, if that size. You can only buy it in a kit for $99, which is a cheap price for OFC wire, but I think you could do much better than this at 53 grams. The other one that I tested was the Stinger Pro Series. Now I have already tested the Stinger HPM and it had a little bit more copper in it, but this one, while it is tin like the Skar I didn't mention before, that's a good feature. The price per gram of copper is just not great on this, and this actually had a little bit less copper than the Stinger HPM. Now the variance is, I think, 5 grams, which could be, you know, just my measurements or my cutting. Maybe they're exactly the same. So it's pretty close, but I just don't think the value's there for this wire unless you can get it less than, I think I have it listed here at $4.99 a foot. So that's pretty expensive. If you could get it for $3.50 a foot, I'd say go ahead and buy some of this. I'm not going to start with my number one winner of this shootout, the one that I really liked out of this group, but I'm going to start with the one that surprised me. And this one, crazy enough, I cannot find a price for this anywhere. If you guys know where I can find a price for this wire, let me know in the comments below, because I kind of looked everywhere and I really couldn't find where to buy it, how to buy it, or anything like that. But it was sent to me, so I know it is a real wire and it does exist. It's this Mesa wire here. It's tinned, which is pretty cool. But this wire right here had 78.9 grams of copper, and that puts us on the list just below JY Power. I know this is a conglomerate that makes this, so I assume that the wire price should be pretty reasonable, and I'm interested to see if you guys can show me where to find this wire and send me a link below. But this wire, you know, it's very flexible, it's tinned, it had a lot of copper, and it's a very good wire. I definitely recommend this wire if you can find it relatively cheap, you know, $3.50 a foot or lower. Out of this shootout, my number one pick, and to be honest, this may be my pick overall for single run in your car, and it is the Flex Whip. I told you guys before that welding cable is not flexible. Well, guess what? This welding cable is very, very flexible. It is as flexible as car audio wire. The stranding in it is very similar to car audio wire. This is 2-aught cable, but I believe the price on it came out to $3.67 a foot, which is about 4 cents per gram of copper. Timco wire still is the value leader. It has 92.7 grams of copper. If you need flexibility, check out this Flex Whip wire. I may have to order some more of this because this stuff is, I like it. The downside is, if you need something tin or you want something tin, this is not tin. This is just regular welding cable. But yeah, I really like this wire. If you need something tinned and you need something reliable, sturdy, I still recommend New Concepts, or now Sky High has tinned wire, I've heard, and I assume that it's going to be the same amount of copper in the Sky High that I tested before. Check out those brands in car audio wire. Those are two of the brands that I use a lot. That being said, I appreciate you guys watching these videos, taking the time to like, comment, subscribe, and do all that type of stuff. And I will catch y'all on the next video. Quickly before we go, I just want to mention that I will have a link in the description below for the 1/0 cheat sheet. It's just a Google spreadsheet, so you guys can kind of check out the copper weight versus the price and all that type of stuff. And I'll have a few affiliate links down below for some of this wire that you can purchase and you know, help your boy out by getting a little bit of affiliate money. So appreciate you guys watching, and I will catch you on the next video. I want to give a shout out to all my Patreon supporters, but a special shout out goes to the 6-star or more members: 2001 Monolithic, The Third Era, G Nava, Joaquin Juarez, Byron Chambliss, El Fuego, Travis McClendon, Brandon Hanna, William Berg, Boxboy Audio Sound Solutions, Jesus Tires, Orion the Great, Chris Hanley, and Jason Diet. For as little as $2 a month, you can be on the team, get exclusive content, and if I reach my goal of $300 a month, I will do an exclusive Patreon only podcast. So check me out, patreon.com/HifiVega.